Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Ace and Nectar Heroes of the Storm casting podcast. I'm still Nectar, he's still Ace, and Ace, we've got a good one tonight.
Yeah, we do. We've got Can't Counterpick Stupid, the classic, versus Lurk Patrol, a team we have no idea or knowledge of whatsoever.
I've never seen these people before in my life.
No, although I don't see a Valcomer here, which is a little bit unfortunate.
It's true, the CCS, the overall leader of the CCS teams is, I think, on Can't Connect Stuns now. Wits End being captain of Can't Counterpick Stupid, and I think Taco is maybe one of the other ones, but no, Taco's a regen guy, never mind.
Yeah.
Anywho, we definitely know both of these teams. We've played with almost all of them at one point or another, and so we're really excited. So we love casting our friends, which is why we tend to pick up the games that our friends are playing. So
Shocking, I tell you. So, hey, if you want your games casted, make friends.
with casters,
And/or scrim us. That'll help. Looking at you, eventual prospective A viewers, when we do some more A games.
thank you for the follow, Celadorn. But going with casting our friends, we do still have to talk about the normal casting things. The coin toss was won by Counterpick Stupid. They opted for first hero pick. Lurk Patrol banned out Towers of Doom and Alterac Pass. Can't Counterpick Stupid banning out Braxis Holdout and Sky Temple. We find ourselves on Tomb of the Spider Queen for map number 1. We already have our first bans in Stitches and Vala.
Yep, pretty standard. Vala doing still good thing around the meta. Stitches, Brightwing also fairly strong, and here comes the required Zagara ban. There's the required Zagara ban as we are in the month of August in the year 2021.
It is
and hopefully
contractually
only
required.
this month. Yeah, Zagara is completely and utterly broken right now. And yeah, I mean, I wonder what her win rate is in NGS, because every game I saw of her in week 1, she won. Pretty good. There's a Sylvanas first pick from CCS, and that's a good generic first pick if you ask me.
I was just playing around with some things. I noticed that the Streamlabs notification for the follow that we got was it showed up under some of the other things, so I'll have to change some of the priority orders between streams.
Yeah.
I do like a first pick Sylvanas. She's very strong in this map. She's just been kind of really decent recently, and especially on maps where the objective pushes for you, Sylva's just a force multiplier. On the other side, Stukov Greymane are two of the most generically good heroes in the entire game.
Yeah, I think Stukov is the top 3 healer right now, up there with the likes of Brightwing and maybe Lucio? Maybe. Probably not. Probably just top 2 with Brightwing and Stukov, so
Yeah.
I think those are the 2 best generic healers right
Anduin
now.
might be third after that.
Yeah, I would agree with, Anduin's up there, depending on the comp. So, definitely a good healer to pick up, and Greymane, generically good damage on the map.
Continuing on with generically good heroes, Sonya, kind of the queen of the off lane. Not that she necessarily wins the off lane super hard, but she's very good in the off lane, and she's especially good in team fights compared to a lot of other bruisers. Leap is an incredible and engage condition, and if you don't need an extra engage, Wrath is just stupid for the amounts of damage and reduced CC timing that she suffers. So, just again, generically very strong hero. Malfurion, I would say, is arguably the weakest individual hero pickup here, but Malfurion is very good with certain tank setups because Root is very strong. It's just a little bit hard to land raw, but if you have a reliable setup with your tank, Malfurion is an incredible follow-up.
Yeah, absolutely. Anubarak doing quite well recently as well, I think. I mean, to be entirely honest, a hero with 2 stuns in the base kit is rarely going to be horrible in certain comps. Like, he'll always have a niche no matter how paper he can be.
Yeah.
And you just don't get that kind of power in most kits, so a solid ban there. We've got Gunny on the signature Kael'thas, and a Muradin being picked up by Everheart.
Yeah,
little candy action there.
I believe Gunny's been playing Kael'thas since Kael'thas' release, so quite comfortable on the hero.
I think we started playing just after the Kale release. Like, I'm trying to remember the first hero that came out after we started playing this game. I'd have to go look that up. Garrosh and Orphea, though, good heroes.
Yeah.
In general.
Garrosh isn't the easiest necessarily to follow up on, but if there is any decent practice between, I'm going to say T-Rex and Wit's End for landing the Garrosh combo into Malfruit, Sylvanas and Orphea can make basically any hero dead relatively quickly with that amount of CC.
Yep. You know what? You might be right about that. Kael'thas was released in May 2015, and I know we started playing the game in June of 2015. So it is right there with the Butcher and Leoric and Johanna, and then right before that's Kale. So speaking of the Leoric, Harnock picks it up to take to the off lane. And, yeah, couldn't ask for much more of a Lurk Patrol draft than that right now.
I mean, there's no Hanzo, but...
There is no Hanzo, but there is a Kael'thas. You can only have one of those if you're going to have one Gunny.
It's true. We're going to put us on the in-between screen for just a sec. And then I'm going to bring us back in just a sec. Get the prediction going.
Gotcha.
Because I set it up in advance entirely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Professional.
Bring us into the game screen. We are still loading. I realized when I was resetting up the overlay, I still have the cursor capture on, and I hate that, but that's okay. We're going to do just fine today. And for the first time tonight, and hopefully for the first of 3 times tonight, we have spawning on the left-hand side, Can't Counterpick Stupid with LX T-Rex playing the Garrosh, Matothy playing Sylvanas, Evolved is way in there, and I can't actually remember who they're playing. We have Zephy playing the Sonya, Wit's End is on the Malfurion, and so by process of elimination, Evolved is playing Orphea.
And on the right side of the map, in the orange trunks, we have Lurk Patrol with Gunny on the Kael'thas, Court Snort on the Stukov, Everheart on the Muradin, Harnock on the Leoric, and Hidef on the Greymane. I
did miss the trademark 10-second taunt from Lurk Patrol, so I'm sorry for only getting the very end of that. We do have some Sylve Cheese coming out into the bottom lane. Lurk Patrol is aware of this possibility and are positioned and ready to try and make a rotation.
There is that rotation now. Gunny leading the charge to go ahead and make the defense. Is thrown away, but the follow-up is spent on the buildings. T-Rex can go ahead and take about 80% of a health bar as compensation, but only 80% of a tower wall was taken down in the bottom lane. So a little bit of advantage to Zephy here in the soul lane, but not too much.
Yeah, and probably on the whole, they actually lose out a little bit more XP than they gain because they did miss some minions in mid lane. Everheart does get thrown in, but she's got the Dwarf Toss out, and so yeah, no real, no harm, no foul there.
Yep, and now we'll see the standard off-lane matchup being set up here as Harnock rotates down to the bottom lane. Did a good job rotating up to top to grab the XP after the Sylvanas scuffle of sorts. Gunny and Everheart face check a bush and somehow escape with their lives. Everheart goes and gets slept. Good silence from Courtney. Is going to go ahead and lock everybody down and prevent any future follow-up.
So one thing that Lurk Patrol are really going to need to watch out for here is this Garrosh just running at people, first off, but also controlling this middle area where if he's mounted, he can come out from the shadows and just disrupt this rotation over here and really make a bad day for Lurk Patrol if they are not careful.
Yep, that is the things that Garrosh can do 101. So, yep, both teams acquiring gems, only a 3-gem lead here for CCS as waves are being cleared relatively evenly in time. Kael'thas does create good wave clear and does create a little bit of rotational advantage. As Lurk Patrol goes ahead and gets level 4.
So speaking of level 4, we actually haven't mentioned any of the talents so far. We do have the proactive Ballista Spores coming out from the Stukov. I've seen a couple of them go into Lurking Arm build, but this really does seem to be the very stock standard people are going into. We have the Dwarf Toss build coming out from Everheart, which is a little bit interesting. They don't have a ton of auto attack damage on the side of CCS, but it's never a bad talent. We do have the Fealty Unto Death, which is good, especially on this map.
It's actually the standard now.
Is it now?
Yeah, I think we were talking about that the other day, and some pro Fish stream said it's actually very, very common, so good choice in that talent.
A very last-minute gravity lapse is going to save Gunny from almost certain death there, as Garrosh was coming at him heckin' fast, but does get stunned out there. On the other side, we do have full slam build coming out from the Sonya, trait build from the Orphan, and we've actually got the Unrivaled Strength on one, which probably the least common Garrosh talent that I see at the tier. Good usage of Sylph trait with this camp that they took much earlier than Lurk Patrol to get some good damage into this fort here, or the front wall.
Yep, that is a lot of damage being put into this wall. Is already one tower down. Probably going to see a second go down not too long from now, but actually it'll stay alive, but it is hefty chunked, and it is creating a lot of space for turn-ins here for CCS, and they do go ahead and get that through. Sonya was able to turn in the bottom earlier, so that is a early first web weavers here for Can't Counterpick Stupid.
And just slightly unfortunately timed, Gunny did have the DQ to try and get the interrupt, but Garrosh got his gems turned in just milliseconds beforehand.
Is thing that happens, not Lieutenant T-Rex.
That's a good name, though.
Lieutenant T-Rex is pretty good. That might be what I incidentally say several times. Goes ahead and applies pressure to Everhart as these web weavers go into the mid lane here. Lapse combo comes out, but doesn't find too much damage. But these web weavers are getting cleaned rather nicely in the mid lane as CCS goes ahead and rotates up to the top lane where they'll find their real damage.
And check the bottom lane for... Ooh, big toss on the hideout with the follow-up coming up from Woods End, and that is going to be first blood at the 4-minute and 48-second mark.
Late first... can be a late first blood. Either it happens at, like, the 30-second mark, or by level 10 on this map, it seems.
Yeah, I like this throw coming in from Garrosh.
Yeah. I think the Dwarf Toss was eaten by the roots. Harnack now coming in on the flank. Could pressure the Orphan, who's got the Death Laser pointed at her from the fort. That's a counter kill for Lurk Patrol. As Harnack goes back to the soaking action. Zephy taking the siege camp in the bottom lane as everybody starts to res up. And the second turn-in is getting prepared, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that is about the expected amount of damage. All of the walls and a couple of wells, but no forts. That's what you usually see during these first turn-in phases, if you don't get a couple of nice kills in there. We do have Garrosh just kind of holding this bush. Everhart is the first one to go in there. Really what you want to do, make sure that your tank goes in, because they are most likely to survive an engagement. And really holding this position down so Garrosh can't come in on these scary flank rests that he is so wont to do.
Yep, all the gems now residing in the hands of Gunny. VIP to turn in, but not going to find one here as they've got... As CCS now has level 10, and the High Def gets tossed in. Everhart goes in, 3-man taunt out of Garrosh into a Wombo combo. Twilight Dream into the Eternal Feast. 2 kills pre-level 10 for CCS, and they're going to go ahead and not get the turn in as Gunny's going to take the defensive route on that one, and then Garrosh is going to run at him aggressively.
Alright, so we have... Oh, that's a dead Gunny.
That's a dead Gunny.
So we do have level 10s in now for both teams. There we see the Phoenix. We have as well Cursed Bullet, Entomb, Flailing Swipe, and the Playmaker. On the other side, we already saw the Warlords Challenge, Twilight Dream, and the Wailing Arrow. We saw... Eternal Feast is what's called, and the only heroic remaining on that side is the Leap, so... Even though they are up heroes, members of CCS probably don't want to stick around too hard because Lurk Patrol is going to have ult economy advantage for a little bit still.
If Harnack gets tossed in, there's a Playmaker into the fort. That's 23 gems that cannot be recovered. Harnack Spooky Walks forward, drops the Entomb onto Wits, and there could be more here. Dirty Bathtub combo engaged, but now the Sleeping Roots plus the Eternal Feast deals a lot of damage, does great job at zoning everybody out. Leap onto Gunny now as everybody else went up to the top lane, and that is another kill onto the Kael'thas. A 1-for-1 trade in that section.
Pretty good damage coming into this top fort, though. I think with this much of a rotation, it's not going to go down, but any rotational advantage could just mean that this fort dies from here on out.
Yeah, but very importantly, the gems heavily favor CCS. They've got enough for their second turn in Lurk Patrol. A mere 14 out of 55. I do like this play to take the Bruisers, though. They will help significantly in defending any kind of future turn, any kind of web weavers that's coming in.
Any kind of imminent web weavers. Although we have Sylvanas, who is necessary for this turn and on the camp right now. So Lurk Patrol taking this camp even earlier than their opponents means that they will be able to goaltend a little bit, but they do have to find Sylvanas, who can be kind of sneaky with that degree of mobility. A little bit of a toss out of the wall. I don't think they were in danger, but you know, if you've got cooldowns, you might as well use them.
Yep, it does mean that the Bruisers won't be available to be used for the defense, but it does give Lurk Patrol a little bit of map control here.
We do have the 13s now coming in for Can't Counterpick Stupid quite a bit earlier, so they could look to try and make a play. It looks like they want to clear this Bruiser camp out first. Gunny coming in there for an Empowered Flame Strike is not gonna get punished for it, as Garrosh was not mounted. But yeah, Lurk Patrol should just be goaltending, and at the same time, CCS should be trying to either force an engagement or force their turn in the rest of the way.
Yep, they can do that up to level 13. T-Rex going to go ahead and walk forward. Good Stormbolt by Everheart is going to get the team out, and Lurk Patrol is going to back off. That does allow Madathi to turn in the 15 gems requisite to Web Weavers dropping in. So we've got that coming in for CCS, but Lurk Patrol, again, does have the 13s to help defend.
CCS are looking to push out the top lane. This is generally considered the most important lane because it is also the boss lane. But they're going to clear top lane and then maybe push mid or push bottom. It looks like a little bit of mid, a little bit of bot.
Yeah, mid should get itself pretty easily here. That fort is all but dead from the Bruiser push. Harnock, as the sole defender in the bottom lane, shouldn't be able to do a whole lot. It does mean that top gets cleared, so no matter what scenario CCS was going for, they're going to get 2 forts. Actually, are they not going to get mid fort?
They could not get mid fort if they don't commit anything to it.
Oh. Yeah, so bottom will be pressured from these web weavers, and it could create the opportunity for CCS to lightly sneeze on this mid fort. Everheart goes ahead, gets thrown, taunted, and absolutely obliterated. It did cost a Warlord's Challenge and Elite, but it might create the opportunity for CCS to go boss right now after this web weaver dies.
So there was a small opportunity for Lurk Patrol to intentionally not kill that so that they couldn't start the boss, but it's hard to do on this map, especially because the web weavers themselves just take damage over time. Lurk Patrol seems to be very aware that this is the likely play as the members of CCS are off the team. So you see them kind of positioned near top lane so that they can work on defending this boss, but yeah, nothing that we're going to be able to contest there. We do have a turn coming in from Harnock that is most of the gems Lurk Patrol is going to need, and Gunny is, again, most of it, although Court Snort will be necessary for the final couple of gems to get in there. This will help push the lanes back, but you never really want to use your web weavers to delay the boss push. It's not a feels great.
No, definitely not. There's the fort going down in mid lane, securing all 3 there. High Def, with that increased range and with the Inner Beast, is going to just be able to pew down that boss with minimal damage taken. So top still able to be pressured by Lurk Patrol once the Web Weavers kind of walk out of their own base.
Yeah, but they're going to be down 16. They do see that Sonya's in the bot lane. So Lurk Patrol could try to make a play 5v4 or try to make a play onto the Sonya, which seems to be the call here. She does have the leap available, and there it is. Trading leap for Entomb is small ult economy in favor of Lurk Patrol, but probably isn't going to matter.
Not particularly. Cooldown difference is very minor between the two at only a 10-second difference. Nice bush check there from Everheart. Goes ahead and makes sure that just to check if there was a Garrosh hiding there, and there was. Not exactly the Garrosh surprise you want. Harnock goes in and gets the delay with the spooky hand. Does have the increased heal on 7, along with the Unyielding Despair on 13, so it is going to be one of those W builds. There goes the taunt into Eternal Feast. Again, strong combo. High Def goes in after 2 are dead. That's a 3rd kill over to Lurk, over to CCS, and they're going to now have a turn-in available, and they're going to have 3 members down for Lurk Patrol, so they can push in very early.
Yeah, and looking like they really want to try and get this top keep. It's where the smart play is with 3 members dead and Webweaver's pushed up this far. It's very likely that this keep goes down. Sonya stayed in bottom lane to push another wave along with the Siege Giants being down there, so that's a threat onto bottom keep as well. Only mid lane has a little bit of time available for Lurk Patrol to make a defense eventually instead of immediately, but Gunny's up. We do have High Def and Everheart coming up in just a sec, so they can make a play to defend here, or at least force CCS to be here. Going in for a big Warlord's challenge on the 4 members, not a huge amount but a big root into leap combo into the Eternal Feast is going to find, luckily for Lurk Patrol, just the 1 kill, and it's arguable that the healer is the least important on this deep of a defense, as they are actually going to be able to save this keep in its entirety. We have Harnack already split out into the bottom lane, so they can save bottom keep as well. Looks like mid is the only one that has a Webweaver left, and it's kind of low.
Yeah, so far it looks like this is a keep full defense, if you wish. But unfortunately for the members of Lurk Patrol, they are down 2.5 levels now here, and yeah, this Garrosh is causing all sorts of problems for the front line of Lurk Patrol, it seems. They're having a tough time stepping up and making engages work out. Yeah,
Stukov is very powerful, but at just burst damage prevention, especially on multiple heroes, he's not incredible. A beat drop is probably the best thing that they could have if they knew that this combo was coming, but it's hard to know that at the point where the heroes were drafted.
You do good job.
Yeah.
Fun to watch.
Thank you, Isex, for the big rate of 30. Welcome, everybody. We're in game number 1, and things are dire if you're a Lurk Patrol fan. If you're a CCS fan, things are going quite swimmingly at the moment.
Yep, up level 20s now. We do have the Titanic Might, so hiding in minion waves a little bit more difficult, as Garrosh will now throw 2 targets, 1 with each arm. We've got the upgraded Twilight Dream, so we've got the capability of teleporting into that combo, so Malfurion can play more safe. Blink from Sylvanas, the completion of the standard build for Orphea with Eldritch Conduit.
Yep.
Yes, and Ignore Pain from Sonya.
It's really impressive that Garrosh is able to throw people while still holding onto his chair / axe / big buzzsaw thing, depending on skin.
I mean, would you not just use the chair for leverage and throw them farther? That's what the level 1's for.
I mean, explain how he does that with an axe.
There's still a flat part to throw with on the axe, right?
Sure, we do have this boss getting picked up by CCS. Lurk Patrol are maybe making the call that this is necessary. I definitely expect to see someone Q-check that bush and not just run into it. That's good enough. So Lurk Patrol's aware that this is happening. Now they have to ask themselves, do we lose this game if we don't fight this boss? They seem to think maybe, so Lurk Patrol is engaging here. A lot of damage coming out onto T-Rex, actually, from that cursed bullet. Not hitting the combos like they have been in the past, but Harnack is very deep in there and is going to be the first one to fall here, and boss is still picked up by the members of CCS.
Yep, this is going to make the defense dire. I'd like Lurk Patrol to be shooting this, at least while CCS isn't with the boss, because every point of health is going to matter. Everheart goes ahead and extended whoops out. Gunny's going to be the victim of a bloodthirst into not a throw. However, is going to take a spear from Zephy, and is being chased down. Good curse bullet during the stun is going to bring Sonya very low, force a leap out. The sleep roots from Malfurion, though. Wit's End is really hitting these roots well. You said they're hard to hit. He's doing a great job with them. Muradin goes down with that combo, and boss at half health is now hitting the core.
It is. The members of CCS are kind of being zoned out here. Gunny and Harnack, they do have the kill pressure if they can find some abilities. Harnack gets thrown in, takes a ton of damage, and is still going to fall. It is only now the Kael'thas and the Stukov. Madathi putting in tons of damage. The boss is gonna die, and again, with those double flame strikes, it is possible to put out a ton of damage. Zephy finds another leap. There goes the Arcane Barrier to try and keep Gunny alive, but it is not enough, and CCS are going to take game number 1.
Really solid CC combos there from CCS. They just put down a lot of damage pretty much every time. that any Garrosh throw came out, it was pretty much a confirmed kill. And that's really what you want to see. Garrosh needs to be that big, giant threat that can cause a lot of problems. And we saw that very well, especially from LX T-Rex. Wits End and either Zephy to follow or Orphea evolved on the Orphea to drop the Eternal Feast. So, really solid play there from CCS.
A couple of things in the endgame screen I'd like to point out. Damage numbers. Orphea's got 38,000, Gunny eclipsing that at 61,000, but just never quite able to translate damage into kills, and that's the most important thing about damage, is translating it into kills, and Garrosh is exceptionally good at helping your DPS to do that.
Yep, I mean, it is an isolation, a stun. Not isolation's in the ability, but isolation is in the location of the enemy hero, of course. With the throw and then the stun and a taunt, it's just very, very powerful to follow up with. So, looking good. Actually, Valkymer just went live during that match, or during that game, and is in the Nexomania finals.
Ooh, who's playing in that?
It's a POV stream. 6-month Christmas patch versus Shark Tank, apparently, but he's playing in it. And yeah, that is currently now on Valkymer's stream.
Thank you, everyone, for being so active in the chat. Caledorn especially here to support the CCS teams. IceX, again, if you're still around, thank you so much for the raid. Really appreciate it. And Miss Windup Bird is here. Mostly got drowned out by Caledorn, but that's not a bad thing.
Yep, absolutely. Alright, so game number 2. Lurk Patrol is going to take first pick. I'm sure captains are working on that now, and as soon as we get
They are, and I now have a lobby.
Oh, and I'm going to join it. And it's Infernal Shrines. Do you know who picked the map, Ektar?
I do. I know that CCS picked the map.
There you go. Everything as according to plan. So, if you're Lurk Patrol, ban strategy going into game 2, you now do have the first pick, so you don't have to ban the Zagara. So you could be able to do something like ban the Garrosh that caused a lot of problems, should you wish. There's just more opportunities to do stuff with the draft in from the first pick position right now, so I'm interested to see how strategy changes here.
You sure do, Caledorn. You win all of the 10 points that you bet against the 0 points that anybody else bet. 100% profit.
May I ask you to look up the definition of profit?
I mean, at the point where the bet is made, that's no longer your money. So he just made 10. He paid 10 so that he could do the prediction, and then he made 10 back. Yes,
Yep.
It's not profit. I'm very aware.
I am well aware you are aware. Stonks go burr. T-Rex to ban. Can a T-Rex even hit the ban button with those arms? I'm very impressed.
You know, from what I've seen from the commercials for Meet the Robinsons, I really don't think so.
Are you implying that this person might not be a T-Rex?
I mean, I don't feel like I'm implying that. I think you might be inferring it.
Okay. Could be. Oh. Yep. I do also like the T-Rex portrait that somehow is in Heroes of the Storm.
I don't believe that is a T-Rex. I think that's Dahaka.
Dahaka. Yeah. To be fair.
Give you all the sneak peek of the portrait in question. Gotta say, big fan of Zephy's portrait in particular.
Yep. Big fan. Couldn't tell you why though.
I do like the call for the Garrosh ban. I think that is the single largest contributor to CCS's win in that game. Not that it's the only one, but it made so many kills happen. So I think if you're Lurk Patrol, you want to at least force them to beat you with something different.
Yep. I mean, I've always had at least in NGS, I've always had the philosophy that even if you're going to lose 2-0, lose 2-0 to something different. It feels real bad to lose to the same thing twice. So
the only thing that feels worse is losing and then your opponent drafts the comp that you just lost with and then they win.
Oh no, that's just like that's the worst. All right, game 2 here on Infernal Shrines. Lurk Patrol with the first pick, first ban here.
Thank you for the follow, Yannick Gia 333, and I'm so sorry for how I butchered your name.
B-Med, it's very simple.
Ooh, Lurk Patrol continuing to ban out the Zagara even with first pick, so I'm not a huge fan of this decision because their opponents almost certainly would have banned it for them.
Yep, would agree. If you do just want to ban it out, not get into that stalemate, go ahead and ban it second.
Yeah.
But that is the case there. B-Med, always root for game 3. That's, if you don't know who to root for game 3. That's my philosophy there.
I think that the Vala is a good band. She's generically very strong, and Gunny has been putting in the hours on Vala recently, really trying to get that old degree of proficiency that he had with her.
Yep, I think there's a lot of room for Gunny to pick up some of that proficiency on the ADCs here, and there is a Garrosh ban here.
Yes, Kellador, and all of my alerts are Brightwing. Almost all of my alerts are Brightwing sounds. Everything except for cheering 69 bits and 100 plus bits, I think, are Brightwing sounds.
And if you want to see those, just make sure to hit those cheers, or if you want to hear those, just to test it out. It's always a good fun way.
You see, you're going to continue to be confused, Kelladorn, as Brightwing is getting banned out.
You can never ban her from the stream, nor your heart.
Yeah. Alright, so, if you're Lurk Patrol, what are you looking at first pick here?
Sonya.
You know, you could not be more wrong.
That came out so quick, I basically just said the hero. There are multiple people that can play Sonya on the Lurk Patrol side, and she is fantastic for the map, and we know it at least could be somewhat of a deny pick, so I think that is a fantastically fine pickup.
I do think it's a good pick for the reasons you said. I don't know how much scouting CCFs have done, especially into both past seasons of Lurk Patrol, where Harnock and High Def have alternated the Bruiser and Soul Lane roles. So if that's the case, and they know that both of them play Sonya, they technically don't know who's playing it at this point.
They do know that Gunny is playing Kael'thas. That is not a surprise there, although we did see a High Def on it in the previous series. Oh, there you go.
Ooh. Thank you, Kelladorn, for the nice amount of bits.
Now I have to go and unmute the stream to hear, but I also was talking during it.
As well as we do have Everheart picking up one of her comfort tanks in the May. On the other side, we have not particularly talked about the Gazlo Sylvanas picked up. Sylvanas, if you were here for game number 1, you know how we feel about Sylvanas and her force multiplication on objectives that push for you. And Gazlo, he's fallen off a little bit in the Soul Lane role, but he has a ranged stun and a huge AoE gravel bomb into like his combo potential is through the roof. And we kind of got a glimpse in game number 1 how much CCS liked their combo comps.
That is very true. I did hear the nice go through. Very good. Stitches and Anduin. So taking the Stitches and the the best healer against Stitches immediately there.
Also, Anduin pairs very well with Stitches. It's a very potent 2-hero pickup, and we've seen it in every rank of play, and it's just always effective. It's so strong.
Yeah, at peak form, you can Stitches hook into Anduin pull, into Anduin light bomb, into Anduin root, into how are they not dead yet?
They're not. They are. They are dead.
So I was wrong. That is going to be a high def Kael'thas and a gunny Hanzo. So there are going to be a little bit of swaps coming around here.
I think that this is a good play, especially the Hanzo pickup. I would say Gunny likes to position a little bit far forward, and in particular when he plays on the Hanzo, that's not exactly a bad thing, because Hanzo's got a very strong auto attack, and the Shimada privilege lets him get out of bad situations once every 30 seconds or so. Evolved, once again picking up the Orphea. It worked very well in Game 1. There's a little bit less setup in this game, but at the same time, Gravel Bomb plus Light Bomb, Stitches combo, there's a lot of ability for Evolve to put in that damage.
Yeah, this is a lot more reliant on the Gazlo setup, which is more unreliable than Garrosh's setup. So it will be a tougher to execute CC train for CCS, but nonetheless, they do have the capability of all of that wombo combo potential that they had in game number 1.
So, as expected, we did see the swap coming out from High Def and Gunny, with Gunny playing the Hanzo and High Def on the Kael'thas. But for the second time, and hopefully the second of 3 times tonight, we do have CCS spawning on the left-hand side in the Cyan trunks with LT, or you got me saying it now, LX T-Rex playing the Stitches, Wits End playing Anduin, Madathi playing the Sylvanas Evolved back on that Orphea, and we have Zephy playing the Gazlo.
And on the right side of the map, in the orange trunks, we do have Lurk Patrol with High Def on the Kael'thas, Gunny on the Hanzo, Harnark on the Sonya, Court Snort on the Stukov, and Everheart on the May.
At the 0-second mark, I want to point out that Wits End is not running with scissors.
Very disappointing. We may have to have some words about that.
Yes. Checking out the level 1s, we have Big Game Hunter, which is the start of Q build for Gazlo. So that is the most effective on the point, because you can get more turrets out. A lot of damage going into both sides, but with the heal throughput coming out from the trait pop on Stukov, it seems to have early favoring into Lurk Patrol, but it's the 30-second mark. None of this probably actually matters all that much. Amp healing is a bit of an interesting pick, especially on this map in particular, because you do have so much rotating. I wouldn't have been surprised to see globes, but amp healing is also a very strong talent. And we've got W build coming out, at least the start of it coming out from Wits End. We'll see if he goes into further W talents or if it's just the level 1 choice.
Yeah, that is capability. Hook goes out onto Gunny, does use that Shimada privilege to escape that all Shimadas are granted with.
Hakuna Shimada.
What a wonderful escape.
And then for Lurk Patrol talents, we once again have the Globe quest coming out for the Kael'thas for that Arcane Barrier. Slam build Sonya, even though it's being played by the other team, it seems to be the same build. Proactive Ballista Spores, we've got the Heat Transfer, and Q quest coming out from Gunny. That is very much his signature on the hero.
I'll get practice. A person in chat with strong opinions about Gazlo says, Big Game Hunter is always good, very angry, frowny, sad face.
I don't believe that I indicated otherwise. I think that it is a good talent. It is the start of Q build, and it does give you the most control on the points because you can get towers out faster. It's a little bit less wombo combo-y because you don't get the extra damage on bombs, but I mean, that's not the only thing that Gazlo is good for. Amp healing best hooker talent, we allow those. We definitely allow those.
I love how it says 7th AC's added permitted term hooker. Nailed it. Wouldn't want Master Hooker at level 20 to be denied in this chat.
Absolutely not. We do have the early camp period getting picked up in the bot lane by CCS. They're going to use that Sylph trait to try and get some damage into this front wall. They actually take a decent amount of damage onto their heroes for it, but Wit's End should be able to heal that up nice and quickly. We do have the Piercing Light. Is that what it's called? Yeah! Coming in on 4 for the Piercing on Chastise, as well as extra spell power every time you do hit 2, which is a fun talent to stack, and it feels really good when you can get a couple of them in.
Yeah, it definitely does. But the Pierce is by far the most important part, not the extra spell power, as you will.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it just makes that CC so much more reliable.
So we have the Shrine currently available. Lurk Patrol is taking their Bruiser Camp. It's decently late. It's getting taken down relatively quickly, although Courtney is kind of low in health. Sorry, Court Snort kind of low in health for it. Yeah. But they got on there relatively quickly, only 4 Shrine Monkeys in favor of CCS, so not something that they won't be able to recover with some decent team fighting.
Yep, and speaking of decent team fighting, it is better to take it late than never in this case, as Gazlo is now sticking up in the top lane. So this is Lurk Patrol's ability to be aggressive. Freeze onto Anduin should be target of engage, but Stitch is actually very low, does get focused down by Gunny and High Def. Aggression still coming through, and Lurk Patrol now takes control of this point and equalizes out the Shrine Monkeys here. And with level 7, is poised to be in a great spot for this objective.
Yeah, we see Everheart anchoring kind of this bottom point, keeping an eye on the members of CCS, making sure they don't come on any Randy flank routes. Harnock now taking that position, and CCS have fully abandoned this this contestation and are instead taking their own Bruiser Camp, which, again, it's a little bit later than I would like for this call.
Yep, but it's better than nothing, I will say. There's the Stitch's hook to pull the Punisher over. Would like to see that front gate go down to enable some of the follow-up, but nonetheless, hook is down. Punisher will be going down shortly, and that's honestly very standard first Punisher damage. Wall and half a fort.
I would have liked to have seen Lurk Patrol stay around, maybe to try and get something off the second jump when the entire front wall was down, but it's hard to be critical when they prioritize picking up XP, which is something that, frankly, keeps them in games.
Yeah, for sure. XP is very, very important at every level of play, but it's especially missed more here indeed. So really good to stay on top of that. Everheart takes a bunch of damage, but is going to be able to use that ice block to go ahead and heal some of it off. And lots of just posturing going down. So
both teams taking their siege camp. We do have the earlier rotation to mid from Evolve to make sure that they get all of the XP and not just most of it. Although, with as quickly as they kill the wave, the minions aren't going to die, which should give opportunity for Lurk Patrol to get their own rotation on up there, although they went to bottom first, prioritizing this camp over the soak, and as long as they get it and get out just fine, this could be fine for them.
They do indeed, so no harm, no foul. Evolved actually in a really awkward spot now, is going to go ahead and get stunned, lapsed, and slowed again from the Stukov trait, from the, oh gosh, Biokill switch. Ooh, Harnock in a bit of trouble, does not have the leap to escape, does spin to try and win, but does not. Instead, grant CCS level 10 with that death, although the timing window of that was about 3 seconds.
So we do have the Gorge, which is very expected. Mind Control, I think, is expected based on the way we've seen CCS play, and everything else is really what we expect based off their performance in the previous game and the way that they've shown that they like to take their team fights. Over on the side of Lurk Patrol, we do have the Phoenix coming out. Gunny actually looking for a bit of engagement onto Zephy. The Leap, Dragon's Arrow, yeah, I can never remember the names. Flailing Swipe and the Ice Wall coming out, so pretty much normal coming out from both sides.
Ice Wall comes out from Everheart as well. We've got some Lurking Arm follow-up capable. That's going to force out a pull from Anduin, so that will be down for the next 70 seconds. Also, Gaslady's Grab-A-Bomb up in the top lane when for something. I think Gunny was the target of it or something. I'm not
Everheart, you're playing
sure.
with fire right now. You can get eaten.
You sure can.
Oh, it's going to be on the Stukov, though.
It's a Stukov snack. Nice combo of CC, though. Locks down the Stitches and the Sylvanas for an extended duration. That's 2 kills over Lurk Patrol. Great CC combo there with the Blizzard, the Leap, and the Dragon's Arrow. And that's going to give Lurk Patrol 2 kills as the shrine comes up in this bottom lane.
Yeah, that was a very call an ambulance, but not for me moment coming out from the Stukov there. As it looked pretty dire, but a couple of abilities really turned that fight around.
Yep. I would like to see Harnock on this point because Sonya is incredible on point.
I want to see one flame strike into that fort.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that mid fort's, 359. One flame strike should do that indeed. 553. That would do it. Lurk Patrol now has to be careful.
There we go. We got it from a storm arrow.
Yep, that is true, but now it's 5v3 on the objective. Court Snort is going to get comboed in. Good slap. That ice wall is actually preventing retreat here. Harnock goes ahead, leaps out, is going to make it out. And it's going to be tap o'clock here for the members of Lurk Patrol. Harnock actually is backing here.
Yeah, he had tap available.
Yeah, sure did. That's going to make this a 4v5 on point as CCS now less than 15 Shrine minions away from finishing it. Gunny,
there goes the Gorge into the pull, and Gunny is, or Hidef rather, is put into a really bad spot. A big stun actually coming out from Everhart. Light Bomb is going to get a nice double stun, but still Orphea goes down to the lurking arm, it looked like. Hidef is getting chased out by Zephy, however, and is slowed by the laser, and should get chased down, although Court Snort and Gunny are going to save her. That is peeling by damage, though the Frozen Punisher is picked up by CCS.
Yeah, that was something goofy. Gunny needs to be careful not to get jumped on, comboed, and killed. He's getting jumped on and not comboed and going to live with plenty of health. Sylvanas going to go ahead and shut down this fort, so there is no real defense here in this bottom lane. I mean, it was already a Frozen Punisher, so I guess kind of is to be expected. Ooh. Oh, fort saves Hidef as the hook clangs off the outer hitbox. So
we were questioning the Bruiser pickup. It got a lot of damage in the top lane. It will get taken out by Evolve, but this is not a particularly difficult rotation for Lurk Patrol to make later.
Yeah, definitely. Could really give them an opportunity to
I'd like to see them take this fight. They see two people on the map, and they are 5. Not quite quick enough on the rotation, but man, if they could have got a nice leap combo or something, that could have been really powerful. As it is, the members of CCS are just disengaging. Actually, the Sylvanas is going to full back here, so another potential opportunity, but Lurk Patrol doesn't know that they have it.
Yeah. Gunny's actually coming down here and poking the well out, which is another Shimada special.
Yeah.
Everhart is going to head and scuffle with LXT Rex. Just have to be careful, though. Gorge is available, and walking up to a belly of a Stitches is a dangerous thing to do.
Hey, Ace, who is Gunny missing for level 1 quest?
He's missing 2 people. Let me find out. It just says heroes. Let me hit the Gunny cam. Sylvanas and Gazlo. Sylvanas needs 2. Gazlo needs 1.
Ooh, Gazlo's about to get rotated on.
I think we'll find the last Q there as Gunny Shimada's into position.
I was expecting a leap from that.
I was, yeah. 404 leap not found in this scenario, and Zephy goes ahead and walks out with his life. But you know what? We got the Stormbow target practice stack onto Gazlo, so now just 2 on Sylv to go.
Yeah, so we, full disclosure, Ace and I did a little bit of a coaching session with Lurk Patrol yesterday, and Everhart is doing a much better job today compared to yesterday at just existing in bushes along rotation paths to give Lurk Patrol that extra vision they need to play out safely on the map, and it's working pretty well for them, especially this game. A little bit less last game where Garrosh can just kind of make anyone die, but it's been working for them.
Yep, Harnock
now is to have to leap out, maybe. Oh, the hook is going to hit the wall, so Harnock is saved from having to spend that cooldown.
Yep, that is true. Level 16's picked up for CCS, shortly behind for Lurk Patrol. CCS does hold a 3,000 minion XP lead here, so it's the kills and the passive XP a little bit, keeping Lurk Patrol there. Gunny walks into the Hanzo belly, or into the Stitches belly, but the stun is missed from Gazlo. Stitches turned at the last second. Gunny is going to try and run away and does finish target practice for it. Sylv is going to go ahead, go over the wall for the kill. Everhart is not escaping this one. It does cost 4 ults for CCS, but they do secure 2 kills, and now they're marching on bottom keep with Sylve Trade available.
I would like to see at least one person from Lurk Patrol stay on this objective. They opt to take the camp instead. Sylve is going to apply a lot of pressure, especially with all of the DPS staying here in bottom lane. We do have Stitches just kind of anchoring so that they can check that rotation. And if Lurk Patrol don't come here, they could just kind of run into this keep and take it. We do have Harnock back, and he does get hooked, but shouldn't do too much. Doesn't actually have the Leap of Out available. Evolved is going to start taking quite a bit of damage from this keep here. It goes down to about half health. Members of Lurk Patrol have not gone back. Only Gunny is back, and that's just from death.
Yep, that is bottom keep going over to CCS, so a very impactful 2 kills. Gunny now trying to finish off a kill does get evolved. And that should give Lurk Patrol a good opportunity on this objective, which is still, you know, unstarted. Harnock goes ahead, takes the fullback, and now, I mean, you have Sonya on the objective. You can put her on and then just push up with the remaining members. Or, as I like with, taking this camp here.
This is one of the longest I've seen an objective on this map go without even being tapped.
Yeah, that's pretty wild here. Bruiser is going to go ahead, pick up this top fort as well, so... Ooh.
Will it?
Ooh,
oh, turrets, though. Turrets take aggro.
Turrets good. Oh, do they? That's very interesting. Well, it is 1 Q from either High Def or Gunny to go and clean it up.
CCS are up and available. Orfeo will not be here in time, and really no way that CCS are going to be able to contest this. However, if they notice that Gunny is in the bottom lane, they could try to make this into a 5v4 fight, but John's seen a little bit too scary, and they're going to opt not to do that.
Yep, that bottom lane is at least cleaned up enough that it should be in good shape now. Half health, Goat, and Catapult shouldn't be too much pressure down here in the bottom lane, although there is the keep down, so it will be 100% Catapult uptime. Gunny's going to go ahead and drop the arrow as follow-up to the Punisher jump. There's just not enough capability to put in the damage there, as walls were not down, but front wall does go down here.
We haven't talked too much about talents. Big jump from John Cena, but it looks like not a ton of follow-up is going to come from it. Yeah, just going to be some half damage or so onto the keep. It looks like Lurk Patrol is staying a little bit, and very lucky for them, the hook is going to hit a minion, so we'll be able to disengage pretty much scotch-free. Looking over at the Anduin build, I think is a real sort of menagerie of talents coming out. You've got the extra pull, but not the extra healing on pull. You've got W on 1 and 13, but not the other W talents. It's just a lot of talents all over the place. And if I had 30 minutes to just look at this build, I would, but we're still in the game.
We sure are. Level 20's approaching here for CCS, about a half level behind in the race to 20 is Lurk Patrol. LXT Rex with some... I'm surprised though a hook wasn't ripped there, to be entirely honest, but, you know, opted not to do it. Everhart rotates very close, but is going to be able to walk away, and now Sylvanas and company are going to be able to stun out the towers here in mid and push into this mid fort up level 20.
Yeah, we do have Everhart in a position where if they turn on her, she might just die. We do have the engagement coming out onto Harnock. Big Gravel Bomb combo is going to land, as well as the Leaping Jaws, or Crushing Jaws. We have the first kill coming out onto Stukov. The leap comes out hitting no one. Zephy disengaged a little bit too far for that, and LX T-Rex is low. I don't think that Lurk Patrol have the damage to secure any of these kills, though.
No,
certainly not without the healer.
Stitches being a big boy, Everhart goes ahead, gets the hook on the end of the icing. That means she doesn't have it available now and is going to be taken out. Good damage from the Flame Strike, but Sylvanas is going to use Bolted Storm to get out. Gunny goes ahead and finds a solo kill onto the Tassadar and does have play of the game to come in, but that's only when Dragon's Arrow is off cooldown. So now 20's picked up on both sides. Woo! Cape just trimmed back enough to keep High Def away from that hook.
If I'm gonna nitpick another talent, I think it's got to be Fury of the Sunwell. There could have been a lot of ignites there, as several people were hit by 1 and very few people were hit by 2 flame strikes in any of the fights that I've noticed so far.
Strong agree here, especially when you go bombs on 7 and 13. I think Ignite is by far the best single target talent, and that's definitely it's such a strong talent. The best thing that Fury of the Sunwell does is deal with super lockdown targets or doing siege damage.
This is true. We do have Stitches looking for something. I don't know if Harnock is the target that he's going to really look for, but if he just gets a Gorge and then gets pulled by Wit's End, and that seems to be the play here. And there it is. Leap is available, and he even unstoppables the Mind Control that came out. It is not Mind Control on 20, so it's actually got a cooldown. I think that favors Lurk Patrol. That's a 1 pull and 2 ults for 1 ult.
Yep, very good. And Gazlo up here in the top lane, so Lurk Patrol needs to press their player advantage quickly and move into this point here. They've got the capability of putting a lot of pressure on before Gazlo is able to show up to this fight, although the top lane is clear now.
It is. Bottom lane will be a problem eventually, but it's still kind of a long eventually. They can definitely get this objective before it becomes a problem with as slowly as Gazlo's rotating. Everheart taking kind of a fair bit of poke damage for not a lot of gain. Big damage coming out, minus 69% heal because of the level 16 coming out. A lot of damage. High Def is going to be the first to fall from that huge Gravel Bomb combo. Everheart gets a pretty good stun. Gunny getting chased down and is going to fall, although Evolved is going to fall as well. 2 heroes left alive for Lurk Patrol, 4 for the members of CCS, and Harnock, he wants to make a play. He leaps in, but is not able to find the last 3 that they need, and it is going to be a tall order for Lurk Patrol to survive. Even Court Snort coming here trying to get that last 3 Shrine Monkeys, but is just going to die for it.
Stukov's snack was made, and now the Punisher, 4 members of CCS will go ahead, march up this open bottom lane, and end the game. 3 goats, 3 katas, a wave, 4 heroes, and a Punisher against nothing is going to end this series 2-0 in favor of Counterpick Stupid.
Yep, so rip in the chat for all of the Game 3 stands. We only get a 2-0 series today, but it was a fun 2-0.
It was. That was a much closer game as well from both our teams there. Made it to level, what, 21, 22? So
a lot closer in kills this time, too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's Lurk Patrol ahead until a 5-person wipe at the very end, so, a very solid performance there. Definitely improved the draft with the Garrosh Band, but, in the end, CCS played very well with their comps. They had the Stitches hooks into the CC combos. The Gazlo flank Gravel Bomb was very, very effective coming in from that top bush, and that's really the play that ended up securing the series for them.
Yep, and Evolve played a heck of an Orphan across both games.
Yeah, definitely. Look out for Evolve's Orphea. Just in general, it's a proficient pick right there.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and fix that and see if we can't get someone in here for an interview.
Can't go to lobby 2, our standard, so we might have to go to twice our lobby 2.
Someone stole our lobby?
They're in it right now. I can't believe it.
I kind of want to just pull them into a different channel.
That's abuse.
That it would be abuse of admin privilege. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to hop into lobby 4, like you said.
Sounds good.
I have made the comment on Bahamut's channel repeatedly. The only reason to get power is to abuse it. I think I banned out 4 people in his chat for virtually nothing today.
Well played. Hope they were the bots that were asking if you want free primes or whatever.
No, it was someone who said that they weren't afraid of getting banned. That's the only thing that they did to get banned. Welcome. I'm going to say LX T-Rex, is that correct?
Hey, nice. Yeah, T-Rex is also fine. Less syllables.
That is what we said most of the time, but you get the full name during the intro.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
And sometimes Lieutenant T-Rex.
Yep.
That's fine, too. That's fine, too. Little T-Rex I've been called, too. I have an alt with that.
That sounds too much like a rapper, and I'm not a fan.
Fair enough.
If you give us creative capability with your name, though, you're going to regret that one.
Okay, go for it. I'll see if I regret it. You guys have fun.
All right, so when's the next CCS game, Ektar? We might have to have some fun with that one.
Yeah, if I had to guess, sometime next week.
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
something,
good call.
sometime
Good
next week.
call.
You
Big
know.
brain.
All right. So I've played never on a CCS team, but I've played with the various CCS teams for quite a few seasons. But I don't
Sure.
recognize your name. Are you a new addition?
With CCS 1, yeah, I played Car Crash Sounds last season.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I sort of drifted around a little bit during the off season and found a home with Can't Counterpick Stupid themselves for this one.
Congratulations! It is a very lovely home.
Yeah, it is. It is. Thank you. I'm happy to be playing with them. They're a good group of people, and we've been having a lot of fun.
All right. So before we get into game number one, I always like to ask, how did you prepare for this series?
How did we prepare for this series? You know, we have talked about doing scouting, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. So we weren't really, didn't necessarily know what they were going to bring to us, but we have specifically been working on the comp you saw in game one of take Gary, run at anybody, and just they die. It doesn't matter what they try to do after that. So how did we prepare? We just ran into AI games and then quick match and just practice like, okay, I'm throwing somebody. Everybody press all your buttons on this person.
You know, Ace and I have done a very smallish amount of coaching, and one of the things that we touched on in comps is ease of execution.
Yeah.
Garrosh literally just running at people while mounted, throwing people, and then everyone pushing their buttons on wherever he threw is much easier to execute than it is for the enemy team to survive in a lot of cases. So
you're absolutely right.
Burden of execution is definitely on the opponent's side to survive it. You know, I love Lurk Patrol. They're my second favorite team after Platform in NGS, and they did not execute in game number one.
No, and it's hard, you know, like how you need to be prepared for with either cleanses or an Anduin pull, for example. Like you need something there, but they pick the Stukov early, and Stukov doesn't bring a cleanse, and he has no real way of saving somebody once they're thrown in there. So it's kind of opened the door for us to just pick it.
Yep, with the Stukov, it's really incumbent on the team to not be put into that position in the first place, and that's just so hard, especially on a map like Tomb, which is small, so you have quick rotations, and there's also a couple of different places Garrosh can appear from. So yeah, that was just a smart comp choice from CCS.
Well, thank you.
I don't know that I have a lot else for game number one, Ace.
Yeah, no, I mean, Garrosh go throw, faces smash on keyboard, kills were had. I mean, we saw how important that was because as we segue into game two, Garrosh was banned and we had a much closer game.
Yes. We've also been... Because Stitches, in a sense, does the same thing. You know, a pull...
Long-range Garrosh.
Yeah, it's
Garrosh.
skill shot Garrosh.
Right. You don't just get the press E when somebody walks next to you. And, you know, we hadn't specifically practiced Stitches Anduin, and we realized this game in the first 2 minutes of that route is way slower than we were thinking about. So you probably saw a bunch of attempts to root the hook target, and they just could not get... The routes just take too long. They don't land. So.
It's something that you can do. The other really cool thing you can do with the Anduin Stitches is after you gorge someone, wait 2.5 seconds and put a light bomb down, and then the route is really easy to hit.
Ooh. All right. Well, thank you for the advice. Any of our opponents, I hope you're not listening to this interview right now.
That's the thing, though. If you do commit to the pull with Anduin to get Stitches closer to your team, farther from the enemy team, what are they going to do about it? He's just so far away. It's really difficult to deal with.
Especially if it's a long-range hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, hook, pull, light bomb, or hook, gorge, pull, light bomb, root is a death sentence to all but the most escapable of heroes. So,
yeah,
it's a very, very powerful little combo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, we've had to both use it and be against it recently, so I can attest to it good.
Hey, don't fix what's not broken, right?
For sure, for sure. So, yeah, going further into game number 2, you fell. What was it? You found a couple critical picks before level 10 and level 20 that gave you some really nice advantages. So well done on stretching your rather momentary leads that those were into something much more.
Yeah, thank you. And I think we were specifically trying to do that, see like, okay, we have a small advantage here, let's see if we can get a pick. And when we didn't have an advantage, just back up, just walk away. There's nothing for us to get here. And it's hard to have that discipline, you know. It's easy to say like, hey, we're just gonna keep fighting, but especially with a Stitches tank, if you're not, you got to play off the hooks.
Yeah. What too much Aram can do to a team. Fight.
Yes. But no, we tried to really do our best to be disciplined about it and take the fights we wanted. If you were to hear my comms, there's a lot of yelling of, we're 4v5, back up, we don't want this fight. Especially that last shrine fight, we knew to just bide our time. I think they had like 36, 37 minions.
They got up to 37, yeah.
Yeah, so we have time to kill here. We just need to wait until we have our whole team.
Alrighty.
Good summary how that game went, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, so now you're 1 domination and 1 dominated currently in
Yes.
NGS. Congratulations on getting that parity.
Yeah, thank you. Feels good.
Have you looked into your next week match at all? I know it's only like, what, Tuesday? So probably not too far ahead.
It is only Tuesday. I can actually check who we're playing, but I have not looked into it specifically. We're playing Puns Upon a Time next week.
I know them.
Oh, do you? Do you have any tips?
Yes.
I mean, you want to just give me all their secrets real quick? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Ban the Vikings.
Yeah, they will play one of 3 healers in the Anduin, the Rhaegar, or the Stukov.
Actually revealing info.
Wow. I'm gonna write this down. This feels unfair to play all the time.
Have you read Captains lately, Hector? I can't believe you.
Wow.
I can't believe you.
Look, nothing in the caster bylaws says I have to remain unbiased.
It's true. In that case, let me get on my jersey and everything.
Yeah, luckily you guys aren't. You guys are just observers. You're not fans.
Just observers. Definitely exactly how that works. So, yep. They've been a stay in D West for, I think this is their 3rd season there. So,
I think you're correct.
Yeah, you'll find whatever information on them if you choose to.
Oh yeah, I'll do a little actual scouting. As opposed to asking people for
freebies from the casters.
I highly recommend downloading Stats of the Storm, updated by Falendrith. Shout out to Falendrith for being like my favorite volunteer who isn't actually on NGS staff. Mm-hmm. It's an incredible tool. You can find all of the replay and like team composition stuff from most of the previous seasons, as well as he should be getting it updated for the start of season 12 here soon as well.
Cool. Yeah, I'll take a look. I usually just kind of look on Hero's profile, but I feel like I've seen other people mention it. Now that I'm actually scouting, I think I need to.
The Crushinator BRB updating caster bylaws.
Welcome to the channel, Crush.
Hey, hi, Crush.
That's funny. Wow, we might need some approval for that. Hold on a minute. Need to get some overrides in here.
He's the head caster. He does what he wants.
I was a head caster 9 seasons ago. I still can do things.
Oh, Crush.
All right.
It's nice to hear he's watching. Thanks for checking out.
So we've gone pretty far afield in this interview, so I think we're just going to give it back to you for any shout-outs that you have. Sure.
Shout out to the team. Everybody played great. We really were on the ball today. Really good with following up, so really appreciate that. Shout out to our coaches. Shout out to the CCS community for giving us a place to play and practice and just being great people. For anyone watching who doesn't know, CCS hosts off-season tournaments, Nexomania. So if you're looking to get a team together, it's a great place to find people to play and get involved. So,
wow. Speaking of which, currently, right at this current moment, Valkymer 1366. You might know the person.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Yep. Is streaming some Nexo finals.
Oh yeah, well everybody should go check that out. Oh, one more shout out to you guys. Thank you for casting our game. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for stroking our egos.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, I've casted a few games myself. It's always, that's what we're here for, right?
It's a lot of fun.
People cast games for two reasons: to have fun and feel good, and to learn about their potential opponents. So.
Yeah, apparently the latter is really coming through tonight.
Yeah,
we're not in D West.
yeah. So we're not scouting D West, but the next time we cast a Div A game, you know why.
Gotcha. Okay.
What a possible transition we could have, and a segue to make in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you for coming by, and congratulations again on your 2-0.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Thanks, you. Have a good night.
And you as well.
Yeah, take it easy.
GG's.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty. So you mentioned Valkymer is streaming. We should probably send the CCS fans over to watch their big boy doing what he does.
Yep, sounds good. And if you want to watch us do what we do, we'll be on my channel tomorrow at 9 Central, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. Let me verify that time by clicking on the calendar button on the NGS page.
I just linked your stream URL, so 30 seconds from now they'll know why.
Oh, there we go. And it's definitely not just because I'm here. Probably a 7:30 Central. Oh my God, it's so early. East Coast teams, why you do this to me? 7:30 Central, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern.
I am going to need a reminder for that, by the way.
Sure am too. Yeah, no problem. What is that in British summertime? Doesn't matter. That'll be on my channel, twitch.tv/7thace, as Ektar has put in. We will see you hopefully tomorrow and enjoy the time with Valkymer. Once the raid eventually goes off, which was not prepared, so I guess we'll just fill time for a second.
I have hit the start raid button, and I'm going to put us onto the pre-raid screen, so as soon as I see that pop up on the stream, we will be nice and out of here. So thank you all for coming by, and we will see you next time.